The house was already empty when he walked in. Not messy, not broken, just gone. He stood there in the doorway, keys still in his hand, like something had not loaded properly in his brain. I watched him from across the street, sitting in my car with the engine off. Something felt off, even to me, and I knew exactly what I had done. He stepped inside slowly, like he expected someone to jump out and say it was a joke, but no one did. There was no couch, no pictures, no dishes in the sink, just bare walls, and a quiet echo every time he moved. I should not have smiled, but I did. And really, that was when everything started. 3 months earlier, I did not think my life would end like this. I was still waking up next to him, still making coffee the way he liked it, still believing we were fine. Looking back, I think I ignored too many small things. The late nights, the way he started locking his phone, the way he stopped asking me how my day was. I noticed all of it. I just did not say anything. I kept it to myself because part of me did not want to know, and the other part, but really this is what mattered, was already preparing. My name is Vanessa Cole, and I was not the kind of woman who reacted fast. I watched. I waited. I paid attention. So when he finally said the words, "I'm leaving," I was not surprised. But what he said next, that stayed with me. I knew right then I would not forget it. "I'm leaving," he said again, like I had not heard him the first time. I did not interrupt. I just stood there, one hand still resting on the kitchen counter, coffee going cold beside me. He did not look nervous. That was what stood out. He looked relieved, like he had already moved on in his head and was just catching me up. "There's someone else," he added. Simple. No hesitation. I nodded once, not because I accepted it, just because I understood what kind of moment this was. The kind where you do not react right away. The kind where you listen carefully. He kept talking, filling the silence like he needed to justify something. "It's been over between us for a while," he said. "You just didn't notice." That was not true. I noticed everything. I just did not say it out loud. He walked past me, already acting like the house was not ours anymore. Opened drawers, checked his watch, picked up his car keys again like he had somewhere more important to be. And then he said it, casual, almost bored. "You'll be fine," he added. "There's nothing here you can really keep anyway." I looked at him then, really looked, not angry, not hurt, just paying attention, because people say the most honest things when they think they have already won. I did not argue. I did not ask questions. I did not beg him to stay. I just said, "Okay." And that seemed to surprise him more than anything else. He paused for a second, like he expected a reaction he did not get. Then he left. Just like that. The door closed, and the house went quiet. I stood there for a long time after that, not crying, not moving, just thinking, because something about the way he said it, "You'll have nothing," did not feel like a warning. It felt like a plan, and I needed to know exactly what he meant. The next morning, I did not call anyone, not my friends, not my family. I went straight to the bank. Something kept replaying in my head, the way he said it, calm, certain, like the outcome was already decided. "You'll have nothing." People do not say things like that unless they believe them. I sat with a loan officer I had met once before. I asked simple questions. Ownership, signatures, what could be moved, what could not. I kept my voice steady, took notes, did not explain why. Then I went home and opened the filing cabinet in the hallway, the one he never touched. That was where I found it. Papers I did not recognize at first. New ones, recent ones, his name and hers. A business registration. I read it twice, then a third time. Something felt off. The address listed was not hers. It was ours. I should not have noticed that detail so quickly, but I did. And then, I kept digging. Emails. Printed confirmations. A few things he must have forgotten to hide completely. Transfers. Dates. Signatures. He had not just left me. He had been moving things quietly for months, positioning everything like pieces on a board, and I had been living inside it, thinking nothing had changed. I did not react. I did not confront him. I did not even call. I made copies instead. Every document, every page. Then I put everything back exactly where it was. No signs, no missing pieces. Because if he thought I still did not know, that worked in my favor. That afternoon, I sat in the empty living room and looked around. Not at what was there, but at what could disappear. And for the first time, I started to understand his plan. But more importantly, I started to see where it could break. I did not confront him right away. I waited until he thought things were settled. 3 days later, he came back to the house. Not for me, for paperwork. That was what he said in his message. Just need you to sign a few things. Keep it simple. I agreed. When he walked in, he did not look around. He did not check on me. He just placed a folder on the table like this was a routine stop. I noticed the confidence again. That same quiet certainty. He slid the papers toward me. This makes everything easier, he said. You won't have to deal with anything. I did not touch them yet. Like what? I asked. He exhaled like he had already explained it in his head. Debt. The house. Some business stuff. It's cleaner this way. Cleaner for who? I thought. But I did not say it. I picked up the top page and read slowly. Then I saw it. My name tied to liabilities I did not recognize. Accounts I never opened. Numbers that did not make sense. He had moved everything into that company under both our names. But the risk, the debt, all of it pointed back to me. And the assets, but this was the part that mattered, had already been shifted somewhere else. That was when it clicked. He was not just leaving. He was setting it up so I would be the one left holding everything that could collapse. You'll have nothing. Now, I understood. I looked up at him. He was watching me carefully, but not worried, because he thought I was still the same woman who stayed quiet, the one who did not push back. I set the papers down. I need time, I said. He nodded like he expected that. Don't take too long, he replied. This only works if we move fast. Of course it did. That was the point. He left a few minutes later, the folder still on the table. I did not touch it again. I just sat there staring at the signatures, the dates, the way everything had been arranged so neatly. And for the first time, I saw exactly how far he was willing to go, which meant I had to go further. I did not rush. That was the first decision I made. He wanted speed, pressure, confusion. I gave him none of that. For the next week, I acted exactly the same. I answered his messages, short, neutral, no emotion. I'm reviewing it. That makes sense. I'll sign soon. I let him believe I was overwhelmed, that I did not understand what I was looking at. Meanwhile, I started moving quietly. I met with a lawyer 2 towns over. Someone he did not know. I did not give full details at first, just enough to ask the right questions. Ownership, fraud, marital liability. What happens when one person hides assets while shifting debt? The lawyer did not react much. He just took notes. Then he asked for documents. I had them ready. Every copy I made, every transfer date, every signature. That was when his tone changed slightly, not shocked, just focused. We need to move carefully, he said. I nodded. Careful was exactly what I had been doing. Back at the house, I started removing things. Not everything at once. That would have been obvious. Just small things. Important things. My personal accounts closed and reopened elsewhere. Shared access quietly removed. Items in the house that were legally mine. I documented them, packed them, and moved them into storage piece by piece. No noise, no signs. I even left some things behind on purpose. Things he expected to see, so nothing felt different when he checked. Because he did check. He stopped by twice that week, walked through the house quickly, did not notice anything. That told me everything. He was not looking closely. He thought he already knew the outcome. And really, that worked for me. By the end of the week, most of what mattered was no longer there. Not gone, repositioned. And when he texted again, "Ready to sign?" I stared at the message for a long moment. Then I typed back, "Yes," because now I was ready too. We met at his office. Neutral ground. That was what he called it. I arrived early, not because I was nervous, but because I wanted to see everything before he walked in. The place was small, clean, temporary. His name was not even on the door yet. That told me something. He still thought this was the beginning. I sat down and placed the folder in front of me, the same one he gave me. Except, now it was not the only one. I had another set, identical on the outside, very different inside. When he walked in, he smiled. Not warm, just satisfied. "You look better," he said. I gave a small nod. I've had time to think. That seemed to relax him. He sat across from me and slid a pen forward. "Once this is signed, everything is clean." I opened the folder slowly, flipped through a few pages like I was double-checking. I let the silence stretch just a little. Then I said, "Walk me through it again." He did not hesitate. He explained everything in simple terms. Too simple. He skipped details, focused on how it would protect me, and really, that was the moment I knew for sure. He still thought I had not caught on. I signed. Not quickly, not dramatically, just steady. Page after page, he watched every move. When I finished, I slid the folder back toward him. He glanced through the signatures, satisfied. "Good," he said. "This makes things easier." I nodded once, then picked up my bag. "Is that everything?" I asked. He leaned back slightly, relaxed now. "Yeah," he said. "That's everything." I stood up, paused for just a second, then said, "Okay," and I left. I did not look back, because something felt different. Not relief, not closure, something quieter, like a door had just closed, but not the way he thought. And later that night, when my lawyer called, that feeling finally made sense. My lawyer did not waste time. "He signed everything?" he asked. "Yes." A short pause. Then, "Good. Now we move." That word stayed with me. Move. Not later. Not soon. Now. By the next morning, everything was in motion. Filings were submitted. Accounts were flagged. Transfers were reviewed. Not mine. Because the version of the agreement he signed was not the one he thought it was. Same layout. Same structure. But the clauses he rushed through, those were the ones that mattered. The liability did not point to me anymore. It pointed back to the company, and the company was fully tied to him. Every hidden transfer, every shifted asset, all of it now sat under a structure that required full disclosure, which meant one thing: audit, investigation, exposure. I did not call him. I did not warn him. I let it happen the way it needed to happen. Quietly. 2 days later, he showed up at the house again. That was when he saw it. The empty space, the missing furniture, the stripped walls, not staged, not dramatic, just gone. I watched from my car across the street again. Same spot, same silence. But this time, he did not walk slowly. He rushed inside, came back out seconds later, pulled his phone out immediately, and called me. I did not answer. He called again, and again. Then he stopped, and stood there in the driveway, looking around like something had slipped out of his control. Because it had. By that afternoon, the first notice hit his inbox. Formal, direct, unavoidable. I know because he texted me right after. "What did you do?" I read it, and did not respond. Because the answer was not something I needed to explain. It was something he was about to experience. And this time, there was no way for him to move fast enough. He kept calling, not angry at first, confused, then desperate. I let it ring every time, because there was nothing left to say. 2 days after that, he finally found me, not at the house, At the storage unit, I saw him in my rearview mirror before he even stepped out of his car. He looked different, not confident, not in control, just tired. "What is this?" he asked, walking toward me. "What did you do?" I closed the trunk slowly. Did not rush. "Nothing," I said. "I just paid attention." He shook his head like that answer did not make sense. "They're freezing accounts," he said. "They're asking questions. This wasn't supposed to happen." I watched him carefully, because this was the first honest moment I had seen from him in months. "That's the problem," I said. "You thought you knew how it would end." He ran a hand through his hair, pacing slightly. "You don't understand," he said. "Everything's tied up now. I can't access anything." I did not respond, because I understood exactly. That was the point. "You set me up," he added, quieter now. I looked at him. "No," I said. "You set yourself up. I just stepped out of the way." That seemed to hit him harder than anything else. He stopped moving, just stood there like he was finally seeing the full picture. The house was not his anymore. The accounts were not accessible. The company, the one he built in secret, was now the center of everything being reviewed. And me, I had already moved on. Not emotionally, practically. Every piece he tried to take, I had already secured. Every risk he tried to leave me with was now his. He looked at me one last time like he wanted me to fix it. I did not. I got in my car instead. And as I drove away, I realized something simple. He did not lose everything because I took it. He lost everything because he thought I would not see it. If you have ever seen someone mistake silence for weakness, then you already know how dangerous that can be. Leave a comment if this story stayed with you. Like and subscribe if you want more stories told like this, quietly, sharply, and all the way to the end.